made it from nursing to 11 in the fall. I was so proud of y'all on that. When I started seeing those scores come in, I was super excited. I really couldn't contain myself on that. But 3 months away, and you'll never have to see my face ever again. So that's pretty exciting. And you'll be real nurses. And you will know more than you think you know currently. So that's super exciting. 221 is just review content at this point. You'll learn everything that you need to know for the most part to be a competent, well-rounded nurse, okay? And so we're not gonna cover anything new related to body systems, disease processes, anything like that. And so the formatting of these classes are gonna be a little bit different. It's a lot of review content. It's gonna be short, simple, to the point, more broad than our specific details that we've had in other semesters. But I can still test you on everything from day one in Nursing 112, way back when I might have said one little hint of something, all the way up to this point, okay? And so when you're studying, kind of think about those broad concepts, things that we've covered in class in previous semesters, some of those exemplars. So we'll kind of pull back out some of those old syllabuses, some of those old topical outlines, and kind of get a general idea of what we're talking about. Yes, we can still continue to review those, but like I said, it's going to be more broad aspects. So for instance, first one's neuro. We're going to do a real broad concept of neuro and focus more on case studies, how to answer different questions, kind of getting you ready for NCLEX style type of questions. And so your exams are going to reflect that too. It's going to be more case studies, more in-depth bow tie matrix style questions, not the traditional multiple choice type questions. So a little more involved from that, okay? So moving along through Canvas, y'all pretty much know how to navigate through Canvas so far. Of course, you got your syllabus. Course syllabus is going to be here, your course calendar. This will update periodically if I need to change something. So continue to look back at it as needed. You can print off a copy for yourself, but always reflect back. This will update it, but I'll also send out an announcement too, if we need to. Your topical outline is really simple. There's not a whole lot there. It's, like I said, some of those core concepts that we reviewed before, so neuro, there's some psych and mental health that we're gonna recover, OB and newborn review. We're gonna do a pharmacology review in there as well. But then there's also some of this NUR stuff that we'll talk about. So things like professionalism, leadership and management, current issues in healthcare. There's a couple of those in there as well. Trying to get you ready for the real world. How to be the best polished version of a nurse I can get you to be. So when you get out there, you're not blindsided. You know how to do job interviews. You know how to write a resume. You know how to apply for the NCLEX. You know how to apply for jobs, how to apply for your licensure, that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of the new content that we'll see throughout the semester. Of course, you have your student handbook. Please review that. The modules that I want you to see are open by now, so I'm sure y'all all looked at the clinical schedule already. Y'all have looked through the course calendar as well. Your simulation 1 info and your prep work is already in there as well. So if y'all hadn't seen that, go ahead and start looking at that because your prep work is due here pretty soon, okay? As far as test 1 content, I already have your professionalism module laid out, and so it's already posted for you as well. So there's a couple things for you to look at throughout your modules, okay?
We can't see the Sun Labs though.
Can you not? There you go, sorry. Good. Any questions about navigating Canvas or your modules so far? Nope, good. All right, course calendar. As you look through your course calendar, you'll start to see some of these random names that pop up. So for instance, on January 26th, it says Auburn University. And then we have this other university, we have Wellstar, Trailer Health. You'll start to see those. What we call these is the live learning sessions. And so Auburn University is actually gonna send out somebody to our class. They'll start to speak with you about 4 o'clock and they'll last 45 minutes-ish, give or take. And they'll talk to you about how to apply to Auburn University, how to start with your BSN. I know a lot of y'all are concurrently enrolled as well. But they'll give you some just really good information about kind of your next steps if you want to further your degree from there. There's also people like Wellstar and Trailers. I think Grandview's gonna come. We've got East Alabama coming. They're gonna come and speak with you too about what they have to offer for you. If they have scholarship opportunities, kind of their base pay, what type of orientation process do they have? What do they have for new grads? What kind of support they have? Why is it a good place to work at? And they're really gonna try to recruit you and try to see and get you excited about their hospital. It's a really great opportunity for y'all to ask questions, get as much information and detail as you can. Even if you're not even thinking about that hospital or that facility, it's good to have those good contacts. Don't burn any bridges because you may need them in the future at some point or another. Or maybe your first job opportunity didn't pan out like it should, and now you kind of have a fallback or a backup plan. The other good thing about these live learning sessions is they usually provide some type of food. So you'll get fed most of the time. This semester you get to eat a lot. At least when I went through day cohort, they fed us all the time. It may be pizza every week, but you got pizza every Monday night. So hopefully they should bring some type of food or something every time they come. So I went ahead and put that on there for you, just so y'all can see that. I'm pretty excited for the opportunity. A lot of them were excited to come and speak with y'all as well. So please take that opportunity and make something out of it. Have questions prepared for them, that kind of stuff. Other questions and thoughts too that I've thought about is new grad nurses. Do they hire in ICU? Do they hire in the ER? Do y'all hire to a specific unit? What's that process look like? And you can kind of find out some job opportunities that way as well, okay? These are mandatory, but they start at 4, your class starts at 4 anyway, so just expect to show up at 4 o'clock and you'll be here for every single one of them, okay? Questions about the live learning sessions? Nope, okay. All right, so of course we're in orientation right now. We're gonna start professionalism in just a little bit. Next week is closed for Martin Luther King Day. So don't show up next Monday, because I will not be here, so don't be here either. Okay, so go ahead and put that in your calendar. And then we start right off the bat with SimLab. So we have 2 days of SimLab. You should see that reflected on your clinical schedule. And we'll talk about clinical schedule in a little bit as well. See that 20 and 21st. And then you have your first HESI of the semester right off the bat, all right? Benchmark HESI. So this is just gonna give you a general idea, a general thought process for us to see how ready y'all are to graduate nursing school and move forward into the NCLEX. So it's gonna cover everything that y'all learned so far, but it's just a benchmark. It's not that big, hefty weighted grade like the final is at the end of the semester, okay? It, like I said, just gives us a general idea, readiness of how y'all are at this current moment. With that benchmark HESI, you get 214 minutes to take this exam. It's a big, hefty exam, okay? I would highly recommend, there's already EAQ questions out there. If you don't wanna do EAQ questions, do some other type of practice questions. At some point during the week, some point next week as well. Kind of getting that mindset, getting yourself ready to take such a long exam. Y'all haven't taken this long an exam before now, okay? I think it's 130. So it's a big, hefty exam. Big thing is building up your endurance, okay? Y'all are gonna be tired, you're gonna be exhausted, your mind is ready for a break anyway. You don't wanna be able to just shut down and not think take about half of the other exam, okay? So kind of get yourself in that habit of taking big bulky, exams, okay? With that benchmark exam, we'll talk about it in a little bit about why it's important, okay?
Do we have, a certain amount of EAQs to do this semester or no?
We'll get to it.
Is it 1,000?
I don't know.
Did you say what time the benchmark?
It's at
is?
4 o'clock.
4.
4 o'clock, yep.
What?
Starting in February, we'll see here, Monday nights, 4 o'clock. As always, your first unit exam, is on February 16th. We'll just refer to your topical outline of what that's going to cover. Wellstar is gonna come in, from 4 to about 4:30, 4:45. We'll take our unit exam. Whatever time we have left, we'll focus on current issues in healthcare, all right? Your classes on Monday nights are from 4 to 7. At 7, I'll cut you off. So whatever we haven't reviewed, then that's just what we haven't reviewed, okay? Moving into March, you'll see spring break, the week of the 9th through the 13th. So that's when y'all's spring break is, you'll have to decide to break there. And then, sorry, but you got a unit exam as soon as you come back, so don't take too much fun on spring break. Look at your stuff a little bit. And then you'll have sim lab that week as well. And then I'll post sim lab, prep work and all that later. Just focus on sim lab 1 for now. Pharmacology review, that's gonna be a class dedicated to your pharmacology HESI. Trying to get you prepared for that pharm HESI. There's not really been a dedicated class for y'all for pharmacology. We really have sprinkled it in throughout the semester. So I'm gonna give a kind of a big overview of pharmacology, trying to get you ready and used to seeing those pharmacology style questions for your HESI. That's in a couple weeks from there, okay? March 30th, that's the day I want everybody to mark as well. That's the day that you might have to ask off for or prepare for later. We have career fair. So now we're gonna have all these different facilities, different universities. Some of them may have already spoke to you before, some of them have not. We're gonna have a career fair over in the southern room, so the next building over, and we'll talk about it, where it's at closer to time. But all of them are gonna be in a room. They're all gonna have their booths out. They're gonna have all their pamphlets, their brochures, fact sheets about their starting pays, what type of tuition are you looking at, any kind of extra resources or information. You'll have somebody there that you can shake their hand, talk to them, get their business card, you can hand your resume to them, all that kind of stuff. This is required, but you don't have to show up at 11:30. Show up at 1 p.m. for your career fair. So career fair will be from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then you'll have your OB overview review that day as well. And then that'll be another 2 hours. So that will be, your class day will end at 4 that day. So only keeping you for that 3 hours still, but we're just moving class up a little bit from there. So March 30th, you gotta be here at 1 p.m. Everybody okay with that? Okay. The other day I want y'all to mark in March, and this is on your clinical schedule, but it's not on your course calendar. Friday, March 20th. Has everybody seen the COA on the clinical schedule? That's Children's of Alabama. We've had a great opportunity. Children's of Alabama has reached out to us and is gonna allow the night cohort to come out to them as well. Day cohort's doing this as well, but night cohort will be coming too. So we will actually be going to Children's of Alabama. I'll be there with y'all as well. And we're gonna get to tour the entire facility. We'll get to shadow nurses, so we'll put all 13 y'all with a nurse on a separate floor. let you also shadow, see what they do. You might do a little bit of patient care, but a lot of it's gonna be just shadowing, kind of seeing what it's about. They have lunch as well, so we get to go eat in the cafeteria. And then you'll also be part of their sim lab as well. They have a super nice, awesome sim lab, and they'll run some type of simulation of some sort that they actually use with their staff to update them and train them, and you'll get to go through that process as well. So it's a really fun, exciting day. I know some of y'all are not interested in peds whatsoever, but that's okay. It's still really cool, great opportunity. It's a really awesome facility. You're gonna get a lot more out of it than you think you will. So please have an open mind. You also represent Southern Union during this process as well. So maintain your professionalism, maintain that great attitude, just get something out of it. You're gonna have fun regardless. It's a great opportunity. But that is Friday, March 20th. It starts at 9 a.m., okay? So if you wanna carpool, you wanna do whatever, get a hotel the night before, I don't really care, but be there 9 a.m. On March 20th. We'll give you more details to come with it as well, but you'll be there from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. that day. After that, you're free to go do whatever you want to do on that Friday. I'll be there as well, and then I think Dr. McCarty's going to come along as well. Okay. Questions about Children's of Alabama? It really is a great opportunity for us, guys. I promise. Okay. The month of April is probably the month that you're not gonna like a whole lot. Just go ahead and prepare. So your pharmacology HESI is on April 6th. So that's about 2 weeks before, or 2 weeks after that pharmacology review. And then we'll start talking about graduation type stuff as well. So we don't have an exact date for the pending ceremony yet, or timing or anything like that. Opelika High School has to let us know kind of their details and their schedule, and we'll get that planned out. But for your pending ceremony, there's just a standard $5 fee to use the facility. And then if you want to buy a pen, your money is going to be due April 6th as well. And that's for the cheaper version, okay? They still look really nice, but it's just a cheaper version. There is a more expensive versions, the Balfour company, the ones that do like the class rings and that kind of stuff. And that money is gonna be due by February 23rd. So that's an earlier process. So if you wanna start looking at those, you can. We have a couple examples that I'll bring to class in the next few weeks to kind of get your idea and thinking about what you kind of want for a pen. Some people really like them, some people still wear them every day on their scrubs. I'm not really a sentimental guy, so I just bought the cheapest one I could just so I could have a pen to go across the stage. And it's still sitting in my drawer box now. I've never used it again. But you know the person you are. I'm a guy, so I just didn't really care about it. But you know the person you are. And so you can plan it however you want to, okay? Any questions about pinning or pin money due? I'll put the other date on there as well.
So it's either the 23rd or the 6th?
February 23rd or April the 6th. Dr. Howell, she is one of the day cohort instructors for Nursing 221. She handles the order forms and all the money and stuff. And she'll send me her Venmo information where you can bring cash and she'll handle it from there. But it's money for your pen and then $5 for the pinning ceremony itself. Okay. And then your Unit 3 exam is on the 20th. And then your management HESI is on the 27th. So pretty much every week in April is gonna be some type of exam. You got 1 free week, so that's good. But other than that, we're building upon your skills here. So I apologize, but that's just the way it breaks down. That's kind of the way we have to do it. I was told that I have to tell y'all way in advance about class pictures, so you can get your hair done and nails done and all that stuff. So,
We can have our nails done for class pictures?
you're not gonna see it, so it doesn't really matter, but. April 27th is gonna be your class picture day, okay? You're gonna wear scrubs that day. You'll be in your Caribbean blue scrubs. We'll get class pictures and you'll be able to buy pictures that day, okay? It's a local photographer, it's their friends with Dr. Howell. She comes in, she does a really great job with them, and you can buy pictures that day. So have cash prepared. I think she has Venmo as well. I am not sure of how much they are, but I can get that detail to you as well. Okay? So April 27th, 4 p.m., class pictures. Questions about that? No? Then your final exam is on May 4th. That one's gonna be at 3 p.m., so that's 1 hour earlier, but May 4th. And then graduation is May 8th.
You said it was at 3 o'clock?
May 4th, your final exam is at 3, yes. Your final exam will be similar to your benchmark essay. It's not gonna be exact same questions, but the same concepts, same ideas, same length, same time, that kind of stuff. For your pharmacology and your management essays, they're both 130 minutes as well, so it's gonna be a little bit less time. A little smaller exam. And then y'all are done forever, May 8th. So you got 3 months of really pounding it out, and then you're done, okay? For graduation, you will start to get some notifications through your Southern Union account about a graduation application, that kind of stuff. It'll start asking you if you're gonna attend, what kind of name you want on your diploma, where to send your diploma to, that kind of information. And so you'll have to start updating your info. If you move here in the next few months, or you've moved recently, since you applied to nursing school, you'll wanna get your updated information, because that's where they're gonna send that kind of stuff to. So graduate applications technically open up January 19th. You don't have to do it on January 19th, it's due by March 20th. Okay? I know this is a lot of information to throw you at one time, but there'll be constant reminders that I'll give you, send out frequent announcements. You'll get a bunch of emails from Southern Union as well about graduation and that kind of stuff. Graduation is on the Wadley campus. You'll have to drive out there if you want to walk across the stage. A lot of people don't, they kind of use their pinning ceremony as their graduation, and that's fine. It's whatever you want to do. I'll be there, but again, it's kind of whatever you want to do from there. I didn't walk for mine, I walked for my BSN, and that was awful because it was in the middle of COVID in July in the football stadium. That was bad, but it's whatever you want to do. If your family wants you to walk, if you want to walk, take pride in this nursing degree. It's something you should be really excited for. So just kind of start planning for that, okay? But, any questions about the course calendar? Nothing at all, okay. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. course syllabus. So it's a 7-credit course. Of course, we're gonna meet in here. We're gonna meet from 4 to 7 on Mondays, unless otherwise specified. Some of those are the dates that I've told you about. But again, I will send you reminders as those dates come up, so they don't catch you off guard. Please continue to look at your course calendar throughout the semester, okay? I'm your one and only instructor again, so if you have any problems or complaints, send them to Dr. Shiver, not me. But if you need me for anything, just email me. Please reach out to me early. If you need any assistance or any help, this semester can go by very quickly if you're not careful. If there's something that's not clicking, some of these broader concepts like the NUR review or OB review, please reach out for tutoring soon before it kind of catches up to you, okay? I don't want some of these concepts and these ideas to kind of slip through the cracks and then you're not successful, okay? So please reach out to me as soon as you can. We'll get some type of meeting, tutoring session set up. If I have to Zoom with you, whatever I need to do to make you successful in this, okay? OB review, we may have to reach out to some other people for that content. But for the most part, I can help you with everything, okay? So kind of looking forward, I know we really don't use your fundamentals and med-surg textbooks. Some of y'all probably have not took the plastic off of it yet, and that's okay. But I would highly recommend getting some type of NCLEX style review book, course book, something that has practice questions, things that kind of gives you tips and tricks on completing your NCLEX. That doesn't have to be like day one. It can be if you want to. But getting kind of closer to the end, you start thinking about taking your NCLEX, preparing for your licensure, that kind of stuff. I would recommend getting some type of NCLEX style book to kind of help you along with that, okay? You have traditional clinical hours, plus you'll have preceptorship hours. Clinical hours, you should have 8 days of something on your clinical schedule. If you don't, please let me know. I've counted a good bit, and I think everybody should be okay. You should have 5 days of traditional clinical, so med-surg, ER, and ICU or CVICU on there. And med-surg ICU is going to be with me this semester. You'll also have Mr. Manrique as well for your ER day. Everybody should have at least one ER day in there. You'll have 2 days of sim lab. So you'll see your sim lab on your schedule. There's one here soon, and then it's the other ones in March, I think. For your sim lab, they're going to be more immersive. And so more clinical scenarios. You'll go in, assess your patients. We're going to have this clinical situation. So it's going to be real immersive type, trying to get you ready, get you prepared to leave us. So they're pretty in-depth, but they're pretty fun too. I like them. I think you'll enjoy them as well. Please review your nursing skill set. So if there's something you haven't done in a while, hadn't seen in a while, maybe you haven't put a Foley in a long time, probably would review that. So kind of review your nursing skill set, because you will need that in sim lab, okay? Preceptorship, 120 hours, 10 shifts, 12 hours each. I don't know anything about preceptorship. Y'all know more than I do about preceptorship. Some people have come to me and said, I've heard that I'm gonna be on this floor. That's great. I have no clue about anything. I've put everything in, I've submitted everything in, and they will do whatever they want to with it, okay? Whenever I get stuff, whenever I get everything finalized, I can let y'all know. But until then, I really don't know anything at all. Usually, first week or two of February is when we should know something. That's usually when all of the content stuff gets back to us, and we're able to finalize everything, place y'all where they give us, and go from there. So, I don't know anything yet. So, y'all are just as knowing as I am. Some of y'all probably know more than I do. Trajexis, continue to use Trajexis like we normally do. When we get to preceptorship, we'll talk about all the paperwork and stuff that you'll need for it. So we'll talk about that later. Now, for your HESI, on your benchmark HESI, depending on what you make, this is where this is going to come into play. So your EAQ questions this semester are not required. You don't have to take a single question if you don't want to sit for your final HESI exam. I probably wouldn't do that if I were you. I would do some questions kind of throughout the semester like you have been to kind of get you prepared to sit for that final HESI exam. Like I said, we're trying to build up that endurance, get your mind ready and prepared for those longer exams. Based on your benchmark HESI, whatever you make, so let's say Sam makes 1,000 plus, all she's gonna have to do to get these bonus points is take 500 questions. And let's say that Zach took it and he made less than a 700, he's gonna have to take 4,000 practice questions to get these 3 extra bonus points. Does that make sense? Okay. So like I said, the EA questions are not required, but highly, highly, highly recommended. I know you don't like them, but I strongly encourage you to do them anyway. They should be open already by now. There is questions related to neuro, there's some that are related to emergency. There's lots of different ones out there. I created a couple of management ones for you, leadership, professionalism, that kind of stuff. So there's those style questions out there. It also gets you ready for those unit exams too. So it kind of prepares you all around. There's also like a final comprehensive review question test on there as well. You will not get these 3 bonus points unless you have a passing grade. So if you have a 74.9, you will not get these 3 points. It does not boost you over to a passing grade. Just like last semester, you have to have a 75 before these bonus points will be applied, okay? Other things with these questions. Doesn't have to necessarily be from the EAQ question bank. It can be from that NCLEX style review book where you're going through and practicing those questions. It can be from other types of resources. Before you do them, run them by me before so I can approve them, all right? If I don't approve it beforehand and you do 4,000 practice questions out of that exam, I hate it for you, but it's not gonna count, okay? So please make sure before you get really invested in some type of source and start doing a bunch of practice questions, let me look at it, let me approve it for you. Usually I don't have a lot of issues with approving stuff, but just in case, run it by me first and then we'll get it approved, okay? On your EAQ, there's about 1,500-ish questions that you can do, okay? So if you're having to do 4,000 practice questions, you're gonna have to find some other resources as well, okay? And if you're having trouble finding resources, come to me, I can get you plugged in and linked to some other resources if you need to. Questions about that? SimLab, we already kind of talked about it, but the paperwork and prep work that's already out there, please print them off and please handwrite it. Nothing on the computer will be accepted this semester. All right. If you want to just have the practice or the questions and prep work online and then just write it on a piece of paper, that's fine too. But please print it off, please print it, and then bring that to SimLab. We won't accept any electronic copies, any typed out copies or anything like that, okay? Handwritten. Breakdown of our exams and where your grading is gonna come from. 3 unit exams for 11% each. Management HESI, pharmacology HESI, both 11%. Your comprehensive HESI exam 1, that's also your benchmark HESI, so it's only 10% of your grade. And then your comprehensive HESI exam number 2, that's your final, is 35%, like always. Here's your breakdown of your grades again, and that hasn't changed at all. So your conversion score from your HESI to your percentile grade from there. And that should be about it for your syllabus. Questions about the syllabus? All right, clinical schedule. Like I said, it should have 8 days of something. So 2 sim lab days, you'll have 5 days consisting of med surg, ICU, and ER. Everyone should have an ER day in there. And then you'll have your other sim lab day, kind of here on the end, and then you have your children's developmental day, which is that 9 to 2 clinical on that March 20th, okay? I try to kind of stack them up toward the beginning. That way, kind of in the back half, you can get ready and prepared for your preceptorship hours, working out and planning out your preceptorship schedule. Your preceptorship schedule is all on you. It's not anything that I have to do. Once all your paperwork and all that gets approved through me, I set you free. You set up your preceptor schedule with your preceptor. So however you want to work them out, if you want to knock them all out right at the beginning, that's fine. If you need to spread them out for whatever reason, that's fine too. But we'll talk about it in the future when we get our preceptorship day. Okay?
When do those hours have to be completed by?
It's like the last week of like May 4th. So you have plenty of time to do it. But it's like that last week of class. So you'll have it finished by. Questions about the clinical schedule? We got a new unit this semester, CTC, so it's a cardiac step down unit. So it's gonna be pretty fun. The nurses are very accepting of students. They really like y'all up there. There's lots of skills for y'all to do. You're gonna get to start a lot of IVs. You're gonna see a lot of chest tubes, Foley's, all that kind of stuff. So we get to see a good bit. So I'm excited about this unit. It's a new unit for me as well, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. Dr. McCarty's up there all the time, and she loves it as well. So. Right. Let's move on. So ACE map, January 26th. So a couple Mondays from now. That's when all your ACE map requirements are due. You cannot start clinical until all your ACE map stuff is compliant. So everything that's over there on that left column over there, anything that's in red, you need to fix it. You gotta have all the green check marks and stuff completed. Dr. Shriver should be kind of sending out different things as she starts placing you in your clinical awards stuff. You'll start getting pop-ups for different facilities where you need to complete certain stuff. There has been some issues with Piedmont. I think Dr. Shriver will talk about that in a second. And so she'll talk about that. But please get this done, okay? You gotta have it done. You gotta have it up to date and maintain the up to date for clinical and preceptorship. You gotta be compliant throughout the whole process. Also, toward the end of your semester, probably would be a good idea to start kind of printing off some of your copies of some of your different things. So your flu shots, your other vaccine records, your TB skin tests, your N95 fit check, that kind of stuff. So you can have that ready to go for whatever future job you might have, because they're gonna require that kind of stuff and have that stuff on file. So they may accept that kind of stuff, they may scan it in and be okay with that. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to not have to hunt some of that stuff down again. Because I know it takes a lot to get all that stuff ready to go, okay? Questions about AceMap? Dr. Shriver, have anything?
I did throw out some, tips for you, just in case you're stuck, having trouble linking your Piedmont, background check and drug screen and all of that. Cause I know a lot of y'all had to redo that recently. And actually, I think there's just two of y'all that have it, Natalie and Stephanie. I think y'all are the only two that still need to take care of that. So go grab that new background drug screen that you did, and you gotta share it with Piedmont, but you've gotta go in, you've gotta follow these specific steps to do that. If you're having issues with TB skin tests, I think we all went through the Piedmont gauntlet last semester, so y'all probably are good. But remember, Piedmont wants 2 TB skin tests. They want one 90 days and then one within 12 months. And we're just taking the same one and plugging it in both places, and we'll approve it, it's fine. They also require your hepatitis B series, and then you have to refuse or deny having a titer. So they want either you to upload a titer or say, no, I don't wanna get a titer. So it's, you gotta upload your series and that other document, but I think y'all should all be good with that one. So just check your AceMap accounts. As Commissioner McCarty said, look at that left-hand side. If anything's red, that means there's a problem, but I honestly think we just have two problems right now. So, y'all agree? Is that what y'all see in AceMap? Sweet. All right. Y'all keep an eye on it. You don't want anything to expire during the semester. And then once you get assigned to your preceptorship, so if your agency you're going to is also in AceMap, then you could get more stuff pushed out to you. So that's where it gets tricky. You have to be compliant to go to clinical preceptorship, whatever. So if you end up going to Baptist for your preceptorship, I know they have a whole slew of things that you have to do in AceMap too. So just be aware there may be more depending on where you go. Some folks add it to AceMap, some folks have you doing a face-to-face orientation for your preceptorship. It just depends on the facility. You know, maybe going to Birmingham or Austin.
Potentially one of those.
Okay. So, more to come on all that. Y'all have any questions for me about AceMap or anything?
Is their account good through the semester? It doesn't
It
expire?
should be, yes, because they didn't have a semester off, they stayed straight through. Did want to piggyback on something you said. Mr. McCarty was talking about a good review book. There is a great leadership and management book by La Charity. It's not a required book, but when we're getting to the point where we're getting ready to, we're studying the management concepts and all of that, leadership, it's a real thin book. You can probably find it on Amazon. It wouldn't have to be a current edition, but it's got lots of practice questions in it, and I think it's a great tool to prepare you for the management HESI that comes up. So if you know somebody's been in the program and they have one, borrow their book. It just presents things in a little bit different way, and it's all leadership and management based, so it's a good one. Okay? All right.
Any questions about AceMap? Your Piedmont tips and tricks, or it's ACE map tips and tricks, but it's all Piedmont type stuff, is right underneath your, I think it's clinical requirements in your modules, okay? So if you need that, it's there for you, as far as ACE map is. Any questions about anything we've covered? Okay.
You're too quiet.
That's how they always are, so.
Not?
Sometimes. Let's see, other things, I've already talked to you about pinning, talked about graduation. What about their trajectories accounts?
If y'all would all go in to Trajexis now and clock in at Southern Union, and wait 60 seconds, and then clock out, and you should be good to go for the rest of the semester.
I have here that, active through December, unless I typoed that, is that, they should be active through this December, okay.
When you pay for Trajexis, you get 5 semesters plus.
Last thing as far as orientation goes. I would recommend saving up a little money throughout the semester. There's a lot of expenses that are fixing to come y'all's way. And so, I know finances are tight for a lot of people. They were really tight for me as well. And, so I had to kind of save up here and there, but your NCLEX, you're gonna have to pay for that. That's gonna be a huge expense. You're gonna have to pay for your licensure as well. New uniforms, if you go to a certain facility and they require a certain color, you're gonna have to buy a whole new set of scrubs. Pinning, graduation, that's an added expense. If you want the expensive Balfour pin, that's gonna be an added expense. Maybe new shoes to be compliant with something else. So there's gonna be a lot of extra stuff that's gonna kind of creep your way, that you might need to take into consideration. So, save up a little bit of money throughout the semester. I would recommend that. There might be review books that you need to buy as well, so. Start kind of thinking about those things, planning for those things, so they don't kind of catch you off guard. Okay? Anything else? All right, take 5 minutes. Let's be back at 4:50. Get started with our first lecture of the semester.